Welcome, scholars, to lesson 2-1.9. Is it Istanbul or Constantinople?
Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, now Constantinople, been a long time gone. Constantinople, now Turkey like on a moonlit night. Every gal in Constantinople is in Istanbul, now Constantinople should be Constantinople should be Istanbul.
Today, we're going to be looking at this wonderful jewel of a city. Yes, it's Constantinople. It's not Istanbul, not quite yet. That's not going to come around for quite a while. But if you're interested, today, the city of Constantinople is called Istanbul. But we're still in the Middle Ages. We're still dealing with Constantinople. We are dealing with the city of Constantine. This was founded by the Roman emperor way back in the 300s. It has stood strong, virtually impregnable for 1,000 years. I mean, it is a strong, unmatched city. It's got 3 massive walls, the largest of which is 100 feet tall, 30 feet thick. It is something that just cannot be breached with any traditional means. It is a very difficult city to capture. It is well defended. And in that 1,000-year history, it had only been successfully captured by invaders a single time, the Fourth Crusade. And if you recall, this was a crusade where the Venetians had redirected it toward Constantinople and caught Constantinople and the Byzantines off guard. But when they are prepared, when they are ready, this city fights off all foes. Well, kind of. Because you see, there's Mehmed II. Mehmed II doesn't believe in cities that can't be conquered. And he doesn't believe in anybody not believing in him either. When he was 19 years old, his father died and he became the Ottoman Sultan. He became the guy in charge. But those wiser men who had been around longer, who'd been leading armies since Mehmed was just a twinkle in his father's eye, didn't think that the kid was up to the job. So he's got something to prove. And he decides he's going to prove his worth by taking the untakeable city, by assaulting no city other than Constantinople itself. Now, this is not an easy task. He's got to do some preparation. One of the things that he does to prepare is he builds this fortress that helps him gain control of the sea around the city, because you see Constantinople is surrounded by the sea. It depends on the sea. It is its lifeblood of trade. He builds this fortress to cut off Byzantine access to the sea. When the Byzantines try to keep him out of the city, he actually takes his boats, and you can see it over here. He takes those boats and he takes them up on land, and he carries his entire navy by land around the defenses, around this defensive chain that the Byzantines had put up, and puts it back in the water and lands his 80,000 troops just outside the walls of Constantinople. But this does not win you a city. Constantinople, the jewel of civilization, was this wonderful, gorgeous city. It had once been the undisputed greatest city in the world, although it does not hold that title at this time. It had once had a population of over 500,000, very large for the time. Today, not worth mentioning, but back then that would make Constantinople one of the largest cities in the world, the largest outside of China. But by this time, Byzantine decline, the fall of the Byzantine Empire, the decline rather, has left Constantinople with less than 50,000 inhabitants, 1/10 of its height. And of those, only about 7,000 are soldiers. So you have 7,000 men defending the city against 80,000. However, the Ottomans don't just have the larger manpower, because one man on a wall is worth 20 men below. These 7,000 could have fought off an army of 80,000, not too difficult for them to do so in these times with city walls like this. But the Ottomans, they don't like those city walls. So they bring their cannons, the most advanced cannons in the world, the largest cannon in the world. This puppy down here would fire a cannonball right through those walls. And in over a month of fierce fighting, rather just under a month of fierce fighting, the Ottoman Empire, the armies of Mehmed, knock down those walls and storm into the city and capture Constantinople in 1453. Now, without this distraction, here we have our Ottoman Empire at the time, but you see Constantinople sitting right here at the heart of the Ottoman Empire, uncaptured. The Ottoman Empire cannot focus on anything else with this threat right at its heart. But now that that threat is gone, much of Southeast Europe also being under Ottoman control, the Ottomans can now shift their focus and they can start looking in other directions. The Ottomans are on the rise, and Europe will soon feel this very keenly. Now, it's 130 years from the fall of Constantinople until the Christians can start to feel secure. For 130 years, Europeans are just waiting for this overwhelming force coming from the Ottoman Empire that could destroy their entire continent, their entire way of living, their entire religion. Now, 130 years down the line, in the late 1600s, a battle will be fought that turned the Ottoman Empire back. The Ottoman Empire is going to stick around into the 1900s. It survives 500 plus years. But Europe is going to worry about it. And in this period of time, they don't realize what Constantinople has done for them. Constantinople has protected them from this expansion of Islam. The Byzantine Empire had always stood between Western Europe and Central Europe and this expanding Islamic empire. But now, that has been removed. That barrier has been knocked down, and Islam and the armies of Islam are going to flood into Europe. And they will invade, they will get to Central Europe over this time. Without the Byzantines, Europe is under threat in a way that they have not been before. We are going to examine this in much greater detail going forward. But first, I think it's important that we hear a little bit more about Constantinople.
Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. People just liked it better that way. So take me back to Constantinople. No, you can't go back to Constantinople. Been a long time gone. Constantinople, why did Constantinople get the worst? That's no one's business but the Turks.